Apparently finance is running late. So we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to need to amend the agenda to add that resolution for the tower. Yeah, the one that Annette passed out. And I'm trying to remember. I know we need a 2/3 majority to amend the agenda. I don't think it's a 2/3 majority of the full board. I think it's a 2/3 majority when a quorum is present. So we should be okay. Yeah, we have a quorum.
Are you adding this?
Yeah. We'll amend.
Yeah. And then it has to be read.
Yeah, thankfully it's not very long. Or we could tell jokes while we're waiting for finance.
Do you know what a flock does when it's hungry? It goes back to what's that?
Oh, that's very good. Okay. Well, we'll hold. We can.
I painted a picture for my
Yeah.
said it was good advice. Really.
Well, Ray's here. That's all we need. So.
Okay.
You made it.
We suspended the meeting.
Oh, really? How does that? How? Add resolution A 2312-383.
So moved.
Moved by Bell. Is there support? Supported by Pitchford. Any discussion? For this, I believe we need a roll call.
Kern,
Yes.
Freeling,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Hinkleman.
Yes.
Majerick.
Yes.
Ott,
Yes.
Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Walrath.
Yes.
Yarborough.
Yes.
Bell.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 11 yeas.
Okay, that's done. Now we'll get to the presentation where we are publicly acknowledging our appreciation for folks who do things for others. Maureen.
Yes. Right over here, Eric and Ryan. Good morning. So I'd like to start by introducing you to the new county veteran officers that are representing Berrien. Eric Larson is a 20-year Navy veteran retiree. He joined us about 45 days ago. He has been an amazing asset already. I joke to him that he's like Radar O'Reilly already. When I'm on the phone, he's bringing me up phone numbers and getting information. So he's just been a real treasure. And then Ryan McNeely has been a service officer. He relocated back to Michigan from Alaska, where he served with the VFW and the American Legion as a service officer within the posts. He comes fully accredited. He walked in the door right before our stand down and took all of my appointments for 2 weeks straight so that we could pull off a really great event. So these gentlemen, they're who we've been waiting for. So thank you very much. I also would like to introduce to you Amy Yonkers. Amy, you want to come on up? Amy is, I'm going to let you step over here, Amy. Sure. Amy is with the Volunteer Service Office out of Battle Creek. She is the one that helps orchestrate and get all of our volunteer drivers vetted, approved through the VA so that they can do what they do for us. And she just had a few words she wanted to share.
Good morning. I just wanted to say personally to the drivers here in this audience and those that could not make it today. As far as appreciation goes, I cannot say enough about the folks sitting here. The flexibility, the resilience that you all showed during COVID to be able to still transport our veterans safely from the lakeshore over to the Battle Creek VA Medical Center and back. I'm amazed at your dedication, your fortitude, everything that you do for our veterans. 196 veterans were transported this year alone because of you. They made their appointments and you're part of their recovery. So thank you very much. Thanks for hanging in there with me because I know our processes are something else, but I appreciate you sticking with me. Hopefully I helped you get through the processes, and thank you again for sticking with us and doing what you do. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would just like, and not all of our drivers are here today, but I'm still going to go ahead and go through the whole list, and I'm going to read their names, the date that they started serving as a volunteer driver, and then the number of volunteer hours that they have logged in. So, and then we're going to go ahead and present them with some recognition. Jill Adams from the Parks Department has donated a Parks card for all of our volunteers, and then we'll be heading over to Papa Vino's for luncheon afterwards. So we'll start with Andrew Bauer. And Andy here? Yeah, come on up, Andy. He started driving for us in July of 2023. Thanks, Ryan. And he has logged 41.25 volunteer hours so far. So, Stacy Bruder. Stacy holds the distinction as being the, we won't call you the oldest veteran, not veteran volunteer, but the longest serving volunteer. She started in December of 2007, and she has 567 hours in, and she also works full time. So
We have, I don't believe Matthew Mitchell is here today. I think Matt's not here. Matt started in 2022. He has 52 hours logged. Paul Donovan. Well, Paul has started October of 2018. He has volunteered 235 hours. And he is also a very active member of Habitat for Humanity. And we could probably quadruple the number of hours you have in for Habitat. Would that be fair to say? Yeah, I thought so. Brian Evans. Hey, Brian. Brian started January of 2023. He has 43 hours logged. Thank you, Brian. Steve Hamill. I don't know if Steve's here. Nope. Steve started in August of 22 and he has 20 hours in. Mindy Logan. Mindy started in September of 2020. She has 136 hours logged in and she holds the distinction of recruiting the most drivers. So Bob Smith, who is not here, he started in 2017 and he has 1,007 hours logged. And then Tom Westgate, also not here with us. He has started in 2009. He has 1,184 hours logged, and he's a snowbird. So when he goes down to Arkansas, he volunteers down there as well. And then Daryl Hansel, there he is. Daryl started October of 2022. He has 67 hours with us. And then Don Hyatt. Started October of 2022. He has 50 hours logged. And right now he is our only volunteer out of the Niles office. So we need to get Mindy to work recruiting drivers out of Niles. You're on that, right? So like Amy said, she's so good. If you guys want to get together for a picture, so he's not here. So we really truly can't thank you guys enough. The people that ride this transportation, they truly need the service that you provide, and we thank you deeply for your assistance.
Right.
Thank
We
you.
want to thank you and your office.
Okay, thank you everyone for all you do. Thank you for coming today. Oh, go ahead.
I'm never gonna tip it. Come over here, Donna. I neglected to introduce Donna Butler. Donna is our part-time veteran assistant. She also has taken on the role of doing the trust fund agent for our office. And Donna really and truly, through the course of the last year, while we were looking to hire the right people, she kept it together for us. So thank you, Donna.
All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Maureen. We will go to public comments regarding resolutions. And if you need to see it to comment on it, we could give you a copy of the one ending in 383 that we're adding today. But regardless, this would be the time if you want to say anything about resolutions on the agenda. All right, hearing no comments. First thing is we'll move to the consent calendar. Because we are adding 383, we cannot do that on the consent calendar. That will have to be read aloud after the consent calendar. So is there anyone who wishes to make a motion to approve the consent calendar without the resolution ending in 383? Moved by Harrison, supported by Volrath. Any discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Freeling.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Hinkleman.
Yes.
Majerick.
Yes.
Ott.
Yes.
Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Walrath.
Yes.
Yarborough.
Yes.
Bell.
Yes.
Curran.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes,
Mr. Chair, you have 11 yeas.
thank you. Does anyone wish to move the adoption of A 312383, moved by
I'll make
Curran?
that motion.
Support, supported by Volrath. Discussion. Do we read it before we vote on it, or?
You should read it first.
Okay, kind of what I figured. Jim, you want
I'm
to
at
do
the
the
ready.
honors?
Okay, resolution. Whereas the county of Berrien, the county, desires to lease a portion of land at 15301 Main Street, Buchanan, Michigan, owned by Buchanan Charter Township, the township, to erect an emergency communications tower. And whereas the county and the township have negotiated a 20-year renewable lease for this land. And whereas corporate counsel has reviewed and approved the lease agreement. Now, therefore, be it hereby resolved that the Berrien County Board of Commissioners approves the lease agreement with Buchanan Charter Township and authorizes the county administrator to execute the lease on its behalf, respectfully submitted by the Administration Committee.
Okay, thank you. And I note that it's not signed by Julie because Julie's on vacation. But it's already been moved by Curran, supported by Volrath. Any further discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Harrison.
Yes.
Hinkleman.
Yes.
Majerick.
Yes.
Ott.
Yes.
Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Walrath.
Yes.
Yarborough.
Yes.
Bell.
Yes.
Curran.
Yes.
Freeling.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes,
Mr. Chair, you have 11 yeas.
thank you. With that, we'll flip the page and go to committee reports. Mr. Chair of Admin.
Thank you, Mac. The first thing I'd like to do is hand out a drawing. This is the resolution that we just approved on the Buchanan Tower. This shows the location of the tower. If you look at the diagram, the 500 circle building is to the southeast of that. You'll see Buchanan Township Hall, Buchanan Township Fire. Then you'll see the location of the tower. Again, go southeast from there, and that's where the building will be, approximately 400 yards or 400 feet. I don't remember. Feet, 400 feet from that tower location to the building. I would also like to hand out building and grounds project updated list. This is from Robert Ray. Essentially what I'm doing is covering what we did last week. So Robert provided us with this update that I wanted everybody to see. Also, last week was the last time Sheriff Paul Bailey is going to report to us. I can't say enough about Paul. And I've been on the admin committee for quite a while. So I've listened to Paul for years, and he's just such an honorable guy, you know? And you know, you want to do things for him. You want to help him out because he does the right things, and he's just a good man. So I want to make sure everyone is aware of, this is an open house for Paul's retirement. It is going to be at FOP Lodge number 96. That's on Niles Road in St. Joe. Again, Wednesday, December the 27th, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Presentations will be at 2:30 p.m. and it is open to the public. So please attend if you can. Okay, this week we had Robert Ray and Don Trail in to see us again. This is for a change order, and it had to do with the domestic hot water for the courthouse. When it was originally spec'd, it did not have a water softener included in the specs. So this is to add a water softener for $8,992. So we gave Robert the okay, and then I believe he came up to finance and then talked to you folks. We had our road department director in to see us this morning. Talked about Point of Woods, how that is not totally complete. It will be continued into May. Kalen Construction put in the culvert. It looked to be about maybe an 8-foot tall culvert, concrete. And some of the landscaping is done. They will come back in May to finish that project and surface the road. The other thing that Mark brought to us this morning is a request to send out bids for design services for the Baroda site. I think it was 2 meetings ago, we approved purchase of acreage that adjoins the Baroda garage site. So this is to hire or to put together an RFP to hire a company to put together the design of what that garage will look like. So we okayed that, and I believe that also will be coming to finance for the design services. So we okayed that. We had a Berrien County community distribution form signed in the amount of $7,829.87. This is for expenses for the motorcycles for the sheriff's department from September 26th through December the 11th, and for the Shop with a Cop program. And that is our report.
Thank you. Any questions for admin? All right, Madam Chair of Finance.
Yes, thank you very much. We had a grand meeting today. What we first did, our administrator had been in a committee with our treasurer and our finance director and all, and they're looking for an investment person for Berrien County's dollars. The rate of interest has been so low on so many things. And so we had a presentation today. Earlier, a number of times, our administrator and finance staff, and along with our county treasurer, has been meeting and looking for companies. And this was a standout that they wanted us to listen to and to meet and see what would happen. And the company is called Meter, MEDER. And the person that came to us to talk to us is Mike Cloak. And he's the director of advisory, and they cover many states. They are a 50-year-old company. They have 350 public entities that they work with, schools, cities, as well as other businesses. So the things that he did, he had a PowerPoint or a display for us. And they understood the 320 Public Act 20 in the state of Michigan. They looked at our policy, not a sample one, but the one that's ours, and have recommendations for. And I think that our committee got a chance to ask any questions they wanted, got the answers. And so we're very much interested in bringing to Berrien County a new investment. We already have that with Russell with our pension, but we need this with our other funds. And one thing that I remember we see every year, our treasurer shows us where our money is, and they put it in as many banks as they can, thinking about the insurance law, thinking about doing business with as many companies as possible. So a resolution will be coming when we get all our paperwork together and this policy worked on. And we will have an investment company, we believe, that will make our money grow. The other thing is that we had a meeting with our clerk, Sharon Tyler. She's requesting that we use a waiver for, I almost said rotisserie, for rolling a rolling file cabinet. We have one that we've had many years and it's broken. It's dangerous even to work on, to find parts and all. And so that we can be in line, and it still may take almost a year for it to come or to be built, we'd like to be able to, and we're signing papers where we can go ahead and put the order in. There will be no charge to us until it is done, delivered. They take the old one out and install the new one, and it's 49,000 something, but they must have it because there are many files in it, and they push something and it comes to them. Is that a good description?
It's been on the capital list.
Since 2013.
Since 2013. Okay, so we're going to be able to order it or be in line for the need, and we need it. Then we had a meeting with Robert Ray, and you talked about the boiler, that boiler system, so it came to us also. I'm trying to see, through the health department, also, there was hired an architect to design a health center, something in Niles, in our courthouse, that's there. We have other things we're going to do because we had so many things on our list, and when we met with the company meter, we wanted to take as much time as we needed. So afterwards, after this meeting, the finance committee will remain in this room and other things will be presented to us. That's all I know. Thank you.
Is that your report?
Yes.
Any questions for finance? If not, Mr. Chair of PHS.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We also met this morning. I'll touch on some of the actions we took last week. We reviewed a number of resolutions that we acted on earlier today. We also reviewed, 5 different advanced step hire requests. 1 from the trial court, 3 from the health department, and 1 from the prosecutor's office, and did approve those. We also had an intensive discussion regarding the evaluation forms for both the administrator and corporate counsel, and did act on those. And so today we considered a number of resolutions that you'll see next week regarding salary schedules, or MOU for Register of Deeds with DHHS, a grant application for cameras for the Parks Department. We considered some amendments to Health Department grants from the state of Michigan for emerging threats agreement, increase in funding from the state of Michigan, primarily focused on lead filters and case managers. We've had a number of increases from the state of Michigan for additional activities that are consistent with what our state responsibilities are. Updated the fee schedule, and then last but not least, a donation from the Niles Scream Park to the health department in the amount of $350 for volunteering by our nurses at the health department. And so we also have a complement change that we did consider and approve and will recommend to you next week. And we had Candy come in and give the health department report due to the absence of Guy Miller as a result of a birth of his daughter, Emery. And so Candy went through great detail in the activities of the health department, including summarized the number of open positions and recent hires. So good meeting. We concluded it in a timely fashion, and then was able to attend other meetings as desired. And that would conclude my report.
I doubt there would be any questions, but just in case. Okay, commissioner reports. Start with John.
I attended a BC Bit meeting last week. Commissioner Freely can um, comment on what we met about, what we discussed, but it was a good meeting. That's my report.
No report.
Just touch on briefly, I sent out an email to everyone about some of the work happening on the AI committee. It is getting very intensive with the conversations with Google, Microsoft, Apple about how to address the growing threat of, not necessarily threat, but in some cases it can be a threat of artificial intelligence, whether it's deep fakes going all the way to grant applications. And if someone just puts it in the ChatGPT and gets out a wonderfully created application versus someone who puts in the time and energy to write it, and we're granting to those who are just putting into ChatGPT. So some really good discussions happening. I had a presentation from a gentleman from the White House who equated it to electricity when electricity first became a known commodity, and how there were fires and shocks for a very long time. And until recently, that has pretty much died down. We're going through the fires and shocks phases with AI. And I think it's just incumbent upon everybody to read a little bit about it. It's not just ChatGPT. It is becoming ingrained in how you deal with banks, how you deal with, online automation. Someone could call you using an AI distortion of a relative's voice and ask you to loan them money. And you can say, oh my God, I'll send it right now. And you end up getting scammed and your bank account is hacked into. So I'll continue to send stuff as relevant to the board just to keep reading on it. Thank you.
I attended the 911 meeting. Just a couple of highlights from that. The next generation 911, we're getting to the point now to where with the GPS and cell phones, we can take it to a location, not just to a tower. So they've done some tests with the 911. It's the preferred fiber network is the one that's provided by the state for the 911. And so far they've been positive. They've been doing some tests on the cell phones and they've been able to take them right to a location or an address. The other thing that Caitlin updated us on that I wanted to mention to the board is they're going to be adding AI to the 911 center. And there were some questions on that because your first thing you think is someone calls in and says, I've been in an accident, press 1, for this, or, I'm on fire, press 2, and it's not that at all. The way she explained it is that there are certain incidences that have multiple calls that come into the 911 center that essentially overwhelms them. They don't have enough staff between dispatchers and call takers. This will pick up all that overflow and basically it will answer the phone and say, are you involved in the incident or not? If you are involved in the incident, then it will go to a live person. If you're not involved in the incident, then it will ask you information or ask you questions about the incident. So that's coming and we'll see how it works, but it's to handle all that overflow. The other thing that I want to mention is the sheriff invited us outside into the parking lot this morning to look at the lab van, the crime scene tech van. That is not the mobile command vehicle. I want to make sure everyone is aware that that is not the vehicle that we've been waiting for. This is a vehicle we ordered almost 3 years ago and it just now came in. Beautiful vehicle, but it is not the command vehicle. That is yet to come. That's my report.
That's coming in March.
I attended a 911 meeting yesterday with Jim and some of that information they gave us is pretty fascinating, how the new technology is working. And last Thursday, I attended the policy summit for MAC up in green and white country. We met a couple miles east of where we normally meet, which took us right onto the campus of MSU, but I lived through a couple days of that and didn't wear anything Michigan. I was restricted there, green and white stuff, and didn't want to get beat up. So the things we discussed up there were the sessions we had were in county services on behalf of municipalities. Apparently there was a survey sent out a few months ago and they had that survey, 40 some counties responded. I think ours was one that was lacking. So maybe we might want to, they're still taking those. If we can find it somewhere and get that in, they're still taking that information and using it. So a couple of the, I can't remember the exact one, but one of the numbers was skewed just because of the lack of responses, but most of it was pretty good information. We also discussed juvenile justice reform and the things that's going on there with the 75-25 percentage, which we've all heard about. Local and federal Medicaid inmate exclusion policy, where you got Medicaid, you got health issues, you go to jail, and before you can even go to trial, they take away your Medicaid, and the county is responsible for your expenses. And that's all over the country. So that's going to be a big issue, I think, coming up this year. And then also the response to Michigan's aging and failing septic system issues. They keep harping to us that we're the only state in the country that doesn't have one. And being surrounded by all the lakes and waters and things that we do, it's starting to make sense that something has to be done. And they're doing a lot of talking, but some of the sides aren't giving much. So there's going to be a lot of talk about that in the next few months, but I'm not sure where it's going to go. But hopefully it's not a big burden on the homeowners, because that's where it's looking for right now. It's going to be an added burden for those who have septic systems. So that's my report from last week. And if you have any questions on that, it's supposed to be all up on the website, any of those things, and the report, you know, the slides and things that they gave us. But the presenters and things were all really good. The guys that presented for the septic systems were actually other commissioners, and the commissioners in the room and on the phone or on Zoom were kind of attacking them. They were just reporting. They didn't have anything to do with it, but that's how it got with the septic system. That was probably the most lively discussion we had all day. So that's my report.
No report.
No report.
I have a report. First, I want to thank our veteran drivers and having the presentation this morning. Just quick calculations, we're over 3,000 service hours that were volunteered, and that's really tangible. And so I thank you. Our veteran service is invaluable, but your dedication to make certain that they get where they need for their appointments definitely is meaningful. So thank you. And I think that would likely be echoed from all of us. I also want to welcome my sister, who traveled all the way from Texas to be up here for a meeting. She's normally here virtually, and then calls me out in phone conversations of different things. So I just want to thank her for being here. As Rayante had stated, we did have a BC BIT meeting on Thursday after our regular commission meeting, and myself, Commissioner Kern, and the staff attended that. I just wanted to give a real brief update with regards to MEC. We had a report from them for the Robin Grant construction. They have been already working fairly feverishly to get things sort of moving forward. Bertrand, I use that term because that's actually where the cabinet will be located, but there are multiple municipalities involved in that build out. Bertrand, they've already completed the route evaluation. They've been working on pole attachments, permitting, and they will be breaking ground likely in the second quarter of 2024, mostly because of weather. Just because it's really hard to construct anything when the ground is frozen, particularly if it's going in the ground. Galeen is a route design completed. They are doing the same thing as Bertrand. Eau Claire, it's labeled as B, and you can find all this information on the BC BITS page for Berrien County. That is their routes completed, but not as far along as Bertrand and Galeen. And then Baroda is also working on route design. They've also started the Brandywine area, starting to lay out the design portion of it, but they have not done the evaluation process yet. Another part that we had discussed in the BC BIT meeting is those addresses that were removed by the state. And there was about 855 addresses that were removed after the initial awarding, when the state had evaluated our application with MEC. 544 of those were previously funded through other funding sources, whether it was RDOF, CMIC, those types of pools of money. But through the work that DCS Technologies has done, which is the contractor that we've been using to evaluate parcel data for Berrien County,
284 of those addresses will likely still be served with the Robin grant. And so it left about 260 addresses that would still need to be addressed by the work that we're doing here in Berrien County. And so we have been working with the contractor DCS Technologies and staff to be able to see what it might take for us to make the recommendation to this board to put forward an RFP to construct those unserved addresses, since the objective is to offer service throughout all of Berrien County. So that will be coming soon, but at a later date. But I just wanted to put it on your horizon to be able to look at. I think that that is mostly all that I wanted to report for BC Bet. The other thing I wanted to report on was the Planning Commission for the county. We had a meeting on Tuesday, and one of the points that I wanted to just highlight is we did an amendment for text on some of their essential service wording in their master plan. And part of that was just related to some discussions that we had with regards to the tower that is being constructed. And they realized that there was some need for them to do amendments to that language. So that came to the Planning Commission. And then the other was Lake Charter Township is updating their master plan. And so Commissioner Otto, make certain that you have access to that to be able to review that. Perfect. All right, wonderful. That's my report. Thank you.
I have a report. We didn't do any last week, did we? I don't want to say the same thing again. The land bank met on November 30th. And the land bank received $400,000 for home improvements. And what this will do is in Berrien County, except for the cities of Benton Harbor, who has their own community development department, and the city of Niles, who has their own community development department, any residents living in the other communities can apply for up to a maximum of $40,000 to repair their homes. And I don't quite remember or know, but I believe that if they stay in the house 5 years, then they do not have to pay that back. That's some of the previous rules, although they didn't give us a lot of information, but Berrien County has the money. And I'm sure the land bank will start putting out information, and also that people can apply for it. Also, what the land bank did, and it came through land bank and then a resolution request here to send out for requests for up to $3 million to do some, I forgot what it's called, improvements or demolition and all. And the goal will probably be for modern plastics, because it's a property that's been vacant for quite some time and constantly deteriorating. And so that is possibly where we would put that money. I saw something else about another community. I can't remember. I'll have to look for that.
City of Buchanan.
City of Buchanan.
Sending
Yeah.
some emails on that.
Some demolition. So those are my reports. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. The administrator has a couple of things.
Yeah, I'll start with just once again, reminding the board, the public, that you have an absolute rock star running your veteran services, Maureen. I am so impressed by the work you do, and the team of volunteers that you've pulled together, I think, is a reflection of the good work you're doing. So well done. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
To the board, your corporate counsel has really gone above and beyond. The subrecipient, I'm sorry, I'm not using the right term for our, subrecipient agreement that was used between the county and MEC. Thaddeus has done a really good job of preparing the document, but moreover, he's met with, I believe we had 16 township supervisors in the county conference room, where he walked them through the document and then gave them the document. What that means to them is he didn't provide them with legal guidance, but he gave them a document that was really ready for their usage. That's direct service to the townships. And should they choose to use it, choose to have it modified, I just can't say enough that it's really, really strong leadership for him to be working with all of those townships. Going down the list, Sharon, The county clerk's office has been really aggressive in securing early voting funds. And her batting record is pretty impressive. So extremely good job on securing funds, securing training, and being aggressive about going and getting those dollars. And then lastly, we have a lady in the room who has put a ton of time into road policies. Today, Jim, you're getting road policies in your rear view. Bad pun. But between the admin committee putting in the time and then Annette putting in the labor on the red line versions, I compliment Annette for the amount of work that went into it, and to the admin committee, kudos on getting it done. This is something that's been simmering and you got it through the approvals process. So well done. And lastly, for the members of the board, yesterday I was asked to go and talk with WSBT about broadband rollout. And I thought the topic was interesting, but having the guy that then goes next in full Buddy the Elf costume and committed to the character, it never have I felt more boring as an individual. I think my topic lasted about 3 minutes and I think he got about 10 minutes. So it was very humbling. So to all of you, yeah, it was a visual. All right, those are my comments. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Any general public comments? Anyone would like to be heard? Name and town, and up to 2 minutes. Yes, sir.
Pelcher, Hager Township. Now, last week, I came in here and the place was overcrowded. Now, all the seats were reserved. I had to sit back there against the wall. And then people were sitting out here. Now, I think you broke the law on that one. There's a maximum number of people that can come in. It's a kindergarten room. No, you had the 20 kids, you had a teacher in here. What did we have last week? Must have been over 100 people. I don't know, I didn't count them. You had to bring us some seats from the courthouse. You notice the seats they have over there? Armrests, nice and soft, not like what we have here. That's another reason why people don't come in here. The biggest reason is obviously because of when you have the meeting. You always have it 10:30 on Thursday. Most of these people are some of them are still working. You gotta have the meetings at night. I suggest we put it on the ballot. Let the people in the state of Michigan or state or countywide, let them decide when their meetings should be here. If you want to have your committee meetings, you can have them at the noon to 6 o'clock. Then at 6 or 7 o'clock, like most of the other, well, the townships and the cities, they have their meetings at 7. Like last Monday, I went to Hager Township meeting, 7 o'clock, once a month. You guys meet except for about 4 weeks. That is not right. You're doing that on purpose. Most of the time you say, well, I'm the only one here sometimes. He's over here. He's here and I'm here. Maybe one other person. Well, she's always here because she's got to be here. You do that on purpose. You don't want anybody coming in here telling you what to do. You're supposed to be working for us.
2 minutes, sir.
Is your bell going off yet or are you going to yell at me?
Thank you, Mr. Pelzer.
2 minutes, all they give you, see? Democracy for you.
Anyone else wish to be heard? All right, then, we'll move to other business. Does anyone have any other business? The juvenile center dinner is at what time? 4 o'clock?
I'm sorry.
5 o'clock at the juvenile center. If anybody's interested. Anything else?
Chuck's swearing in is at 4.
Oh, that's right. Chuck Hyde will be sworn in at 4 o'clock today. Is that over at the courthouse?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And then announcements and reminders. We're closed for Christmas Day and the day after. and then we're closed, New Year's Day. And we are meeting next week, but we're not meeting on the 28th. So don't come on the 28th, Mr. Peltzer.
Thank you.
All right, if there's nothing else, we'll adjourn till next Thursday